I think it's scary how big of a cash cow and money printer it could be if they actually have an autonomous robotaxi that would totally change the game. Is this a bubble? I don't think this is worth a bubble at all. I mean, I think Tesla, even at 90 billion, let's just talk about the valuation and the video a little bit. So even at 90 billion here, 95 billion, I mean, Tesla's at about a 30 billion run rate. So we're looking at about 3.5 times price sales, which seems like a lot for a car company, but for a computer company, I think 3.5 times sales for something that could grow at 50% a year for a few years would be a significant upside, and is a pretty reasonable valuation. So Apple makes what, 40% gross margins on its products, 35%. Tesla is going to be the mid 20% range once they normalize Model 3. I think you add in some software FSD. Tesla's margins are not much further away than Apple's. Apple's something that could trade around 2 to 3 earnings at maturity, or 2 to 3 times price sales at maturity. I think Tesla trading at 4 to 5 times sales, even at this stage in the growth rate, wouldn't be crazy, which would justify 650, 700 a share today. So I think there's a lot of different ways to look at the valuation of Tesla. Another one is the cash flow profile. I mean, the operating business is pumping out $2 billion in cash flow this year. Times 90, that's a 45 times cash flow multiple, which seems high, but the cash flow is growing quickly. Remember, interest rates are negative. They're at like 2% for the 10-year, 45 over 1. We're looking at 2.5% yield on free cash flow for Tesla's equity today, already higher than the 10-year yield. So I don't know. I think there's, and I think cash flow next year could go up to 4 to 5 billion operating cash flow less capex. You do that multiple. I mean, Amazon has traded around what, 20 times cash flow for years. That was dictating their stock price rise. So I think, 25 times 2020 cash flow is a very reasonable valuation, especially when you factor in the growth of this company. And then you have the optionality of the robotaxi business. I mean, I think nobody's really factored in what the impact will be of autonomous vehicles, and just the business, the magnitude of that disruption for life as we know it. I mean, Uber is already insane. I can go to any city in the US and just have a button, have a car waiting, and it's just all seamless. That was so much hard to do. There was so much, I don't even know if I could have done Hyperchange without Uber. I'm going to all these random cities, to all these random companies, and how would I have gotten there? Called the taxi, so much friction. So I think that's just a 0.1% preview of the disruption of what Tesla's about to announce or about to do with the robotaxi business. And, it's, I don't know. I think it's scary how big of a cash cow and money printer it could be if they actually have an autonomous robotaxi that would totally change the game. So I'm investing in Tesla. I think the upside is very justified on a vehicle business alone, that 3 times price sales, that cash flow number I just talked about. But if we factor in this totally new, other weird, crazy business model, I think that would be super, super epic.